Hello and welcome to another video. You are watching IPC News and Views YouTube channel, and this is your host Dr. Muhammad Yaseen. Views, today in this video we'll talk about the situation of the COVID-19 pandemic globally, and also we'll look at top 10 countries where most of the cases have been identified so far. We'll talk about the number of cases and also the number of people, unfortunately, who have died. And then we'll talk about the vaccines update, what vaccines have already been approved, what countries have approved them, and how many people have already been given the vaccines. And finally, I will tell you which private company and where has already made an agreement with the manufacturers directly, and they will buy the vaccines and then they will sell them to private public, obviously with profit. This is a private company, so I will tell you in the end, so stay tuned. So before we start, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe it, and don't forget to click the bell icon so you get the notification of my future videos. Okay, without any further delay, let's start. So let's talk about globally first. Globally, so far, almost 90 million people, 90.7 million people have already been identified with COVID-19, and almost 2 million people, 1.9 million people have died. Unfortunately, this is not a good news. So if we talk about the top 10 countries, obviously at the top is the USA, United States of America, where 22.6 million people have been identified with COVID-19, and 377,000 almost people have died so far. The number 2 is India. In India also, 10.5 million people have been diagnosed, and 151,000 almost have died. At number 3 is Brazil, where 8.1 million people have been diagnosed with COVID-19, and almost 200,000 people have died so far. Russia is at number 4, where 3.4 million people almost have been diagnosed, and 63,370 people have died so far. Then comes UK. As nowadays UK is in the headlines because of the new variant strain. The cases are on the increase every day. In UK so far, 3 million people have died, and 82,000, little more than 82,000 people have died so far. In France also, 2 million people, almost more than 2 million people have been diagnosed, and 52,683 people have died so far. Then at number 7 comes Italy with a little more than 2.33 million cases and almost 80,000 deaths. Number 8 is Spain with 2.1 million almost cases and almost 53,000 deaths so far. Then comes Germany at number 9. In Germany also 1.9 people almost have been diagnosed so far with COVID-19, and 42,637 people have died. And Colombia is the last one at number 10, where 1.8 million people have been diagnosed, and 46,782 people have died. So these were the top 10 countries where most of the cases have been identified so far, and the number of deaths, obviously. And now some people think that this is the winter surge, and I hear many people talking about winter and talking about winter surge, that this is not a second wave, this is winter surge. So I'll give you an example of 2-3 countries. If this is because of winter really, then how about Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia, fortunately, alhamdulillah, has been one of very few countries where there was no second wave, only first wave, and then the numbers kept going down, and so far also the numbers are still on the decrease. And then obviously this is a country where if there was a winter problem, then we would have more cases. Obviously it's not without any reason. There are many actions that Saudi Arabia has taken to keep it down. But anyway, another example I would give you is for South Africa. Obviously, the new variant strain also has impact on South Africa, but some people may not know that in South Africa, the winters are when there are summers in most of the countries. So at this moment, it is summer in South Africa. When there is summer in other countries, it is winter in South Africa, and like Australia also. So in South Africa, this is summertime. If you see, the second wave started in South Africa almost in December or end of December, which is summertime. So, but their cases have gone up, and the second wave is on the peak now. So again, this tells us that this has nothing to do with the winter or the cold weather. Obviously, yes, there is some impact of the winter, obviously, with our lifestyle, with our habits, but it is not entirely because of the winter season. Also in Malaysia is a moderate country. There are no moderate temperatures. It's not winter. Again, the numbers are on the high, and already Kuala Lumpur and some of the states in Malaysia, they are under the lockdown now because of the second wave, and the second wave is really going from bad to worse. So this was my point, that forget about the winter. It's all about our habits, about our precautions, and our lifestyle. So anyway, so what do we do? If you look at the whole the global graph, you will see that it has never come down. Some countries bring the graph down, their numbers go down, but it goes up in other countries. So it has a balloon effect. As you know, if you have a balloon, if you squeeze the balloon from one side, it comes out from the other side. So this is what is happening globally now in the world with this pandemic. One country, the cases go down, in another country, the cases go up. So we keep fighting the pandemic, and it doesn't seem like going anywhere. So in my personal opinion, the only way to get out of this pandemic is to have vaccines, to vaccinate people quickly, more efficiently, and that's the only way out, in my opinion. So sorry to the anti-vaxxers, but this is the only way that we can come out of this pandemic. That brings us to the point of the vaccines. And now I will give you the update on the vaccines, how many vaccines have been approved so far, and what are the plans in different countries. So let's talk about the vaccines now. From the vaccines point of view, there are now at this point, there are 24 companies, which manufacturers, which are in phase 1 of the clinical trials. There are 34 which are in the phase 2, and 19 are in phase 3 of the clinical trials. And 7 so far have been approved. Obviously, this is not complete approval. This is emergency use authorization, but obviously every country has their own regulatory agency which are given this emergency use authorization, or if I might call it approval. If you want to know about the phases, what is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or what are the clinical trial, what are the stages of the vaccine preparation, I already recorded a video before which is available in my this YouTube channel. So if you want to watch that video, I will give the link in I button, so you can click the I button up, and you can watch that video if you want to understand the clinical trials, phases, and everything. So anyway, so there are 7 vaccines now which are already approved in different countries. So let's talk about those 7. At the top, obviously, is Pfizer BioNTech. And this is American and German company working together. This was the first one who revealed their data, and the first approval also was given to Pfizer BioNTech by MHRA in the UK, which is Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency. So Pfizer has been approved already in 49 countries, and then the number 2 is Moderna. Moderna has been approved in 35 countries. Both of these are mRNA vaccine, messenger RNA vaccines, which is the new technology. The rest of the vaccines are the traditional way. So number 3 is the Russian Gamaleya, or we call it Sputnik vaccine. So that has been approved in 8 countries. AstraZeneca, Oxford University, has been approved in 7 countries. And then comes at number 5, Sinopharm, the Chinese company Sinopharm, which has 6 countries already approved it. And then Covishield. Now this Covishield is actually the name of a vaccine in India. In India, and there's a manufacturer called Serum Institute of India. They produce this vaccine in India, but actually this is the dubbed vaccine, which is actually Oxford University and AstraZeneca vaccine. This is exactly the same vaccine, same platform, same technology, but it has been manufactured in India by Serum Institute of India, and they call it Covishield. This has approval in India and also in Bangladesh, so 2 countries have already approved it. And then finally, there's another vaccine which is called Covaxin in India. This has already been approved, and only in India, no other country has approved it. So these are the 7 vaccines which have already been approved and being used already. Now let's talk about the rollout already. How many vaccines already been given in the world? So if you talk about total vaccines given, so far 32.4 million doses of vaccines have been already given in almost 45 countries. So this speed, as many people think, is still very slow. So we need to get our act together and need to roll out the vaccines more quickly. But so far 32.4 million vaccines have been given already. And then obviously, if you talk about the countries, USA is at the top, and then China, EU, UK, Israel, Russia, UAE, Italy, Germany, Spain, Canada, Poland, France, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Romania, Denmark, Bahrain. These are the countries which have already started rolling out or started giving the vaccines. Now finally, let's come to the news of the first private company that has decided to buy the vaccines and then sell them with the profit. Now you might be thinking that it must be one of the very rich countries where people are rich and they can afford to buy the vaccine. So your guess is completely wrong. And this is a company in Bangladesh. The company name is Beximco. Now this is a private company in Bangladesh, and they have decided to buy vaccines from India, Serum Institute of India, which is the Covishield. Obviously, as I said, this is the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. So they have decided to buy vaccines from them, and they already made an agreement that they will buy the vaccine with the price of $8 per dose. So the governments are buying this for $4, but because this is a private company who are buying it for their business, so they will buy it for $8 per dose, and then they will sell it for $13 per dose. Imagine, Bangladesh is not one of the rich countries, it's one of the poorest countries, and the company has decided to sell it for $13 per dose. Anyway, good luck to them and good luck to the people. I can't say much more than this. Okay viewers, so this was the update so far. I hope this was useful for you. If you think this is useful for you or it can be useful for other people, please share it with other people also. Please take care of yourself and take care of people around you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.